So, we're going to talk about piracy today, but probably not in the way you're used to hearing about it. We're not just going to look at it as a crime. Nope. We're going to dive into the hidden story. How piracy was actually this massive rebellion, a cultural force that, believe it or not, helped build the very web we use every single day.
And this quote, well, it just gets right to the heart of the whole thing, doesn't it? This was a massive clash between total corporate control on one side and this incredible promise of unlimited public access on the other. A war that was about to be fought one download at a time. I bet you remember this screen. Oh yeah, it was like the digital scarecrow for a whole generation of us. The funny thing is, this warning ended up becoming more of an internet meme than some kind of serious deterrent. But behind this famous blue screen, there was a huge, hidden war being fought. A war between billion-dollar corporations and, well, a handful of teenagers with dial-up modems.
All right, so let's rewind. Let's go all the way back to the beginning. Before all the lawsuits, before the FBI warnings, it all started with a simple idea. An idea that was born in a college dorm room, and it was about to completely turn a global industry on its head.
And this was the weapon, Napster. So picture this, it's 1999, and a 19-year-old kid, Shaun, builds this little program, and what it did was let anyone share their MP3s directly from their computer to somebody else's. No middleman, no asking for permission, and, the big one, no price tag. He probably had no idea he just lit the fuse on a digital grenade and tossed it right into the music industry.
You know, what's really wild when you look at this is just how fast everything happened. Napster launches in '99, it absolutely explodes in popularity, and by 2000, Metallica is filing this massive lawsuit. A year later, 2001, the courts shut it all down. But it was already too late. Sure, Napster the service was dead, but the idea it had unleashed on the world, oh, that was just getting started. It was unstoppable.
And that leads us right into Hollywood's unwinnable war. Because when Napster fell, piracy didn't die out, not even close. It just evolved. It turned into something much, much harder to fight, something decentralized. You could almost call it the Hydra of peer-to-peer file sharing. And this right here is the key difference. See, Napster was centralized. It had one main server that kept a list of all the files, which made it a pretty easy target for a lawsuit. But the next wave, it was decentralized. Programs like LimeWire and Kazaa didn't have a central brain. All the users just connected directly to each other. It was a network with no single point of failure. You cut off one head, and two more would just pop up in its place. And oh man, these are the names that define that whole golden age of reckless downloading. Kazaa, LimeWire, BitTorrent, a whole new digital jungle had just opened up for business. And suddenly, it wasn't just about music anymore. We were sharing everything: movies, TV shows, video games, software, you name it. It was total chaos. And for millions of us, it was glorious. The authorities, they were just completely overwhelmed. This quote from an anonymous FBI agent really says it all. It felt like trying to stop smoke with your hands. I mean, the more they tried to crack down, the faster the files just spread everywhere. They were basically fighting ghosts inside a machine that was growing bigger with every single person who signed up.
And then came the flagship of the rebellion, the Pirate Bay. This was way more than just another torrent site. Its founders saw themselves as digital activists, as rebels fighting for what they called information freedom. Their pirate ship logo became this iconic flag of defiance. This wasn't just a website, it was a full-on declaration of war.
So after years and years of losing billions of dollars, the industry finally had to face reality. It was time for a truce. They realized they had to stop trying to fight the pirates and instead learn how to become them. But to do that, the whole entertainment industry had to admit a really uncomfortable and, well, a very expensive truth about their own customers. And there it is. That's the core of it, the big reason. It wasn't just about being free. The simple truth was that the experience of downloading a movie was just better. It was faster. It was more convenient than going out and buying a physical DVD. On the battlefield of convenience, piracy had already won. Hands down. So what did they do? They were forced to adapt. Apple launched the iTunes Store, giving us legal, instant song purchases. Netflix pivoted from mailing you DVDs to instant streaming. And Spotify came along and introduced this whole new model of just accessing all the music you want instead of owning it. Each one of them built an empire based on the single most important lesson the pirates had taught them: convenience is king. But here's the thing. That truce, it didn't last. In our modern streaming era, the pirates are making a huge comeback. And why? Well, because the companies themselves took the one thing that won them the peace, convenience, and they made it complicated all over again.
And this chart right here just shows the problem perfectly. The streaming market has totally fractured. Your favorite shows and movies are now scattered across Netflix and Max and Disney Plus and a dozen other services. What used to be a simple solution has become this confusing and frankly expensive digital scavenger hunt. Meanwhile, piracy has evolved to fill that convenience gap. Gone are the days of clunky software and worrying about viruses. Today, illegal services often have these sleek websites, 4K quality, and a user experience that's honestly cleaner and more unified than the legal options. The rebellion didn't just survive, it went premium.
Just think about it this way. To legally watch all the stuff you want to watch today, you might have to juggle 10 or even more different subscriptions. When you're faced with that kind of cost and complexity, well, the simple, all-in-one nature of piracy suddenly starts to look incredibly attractive again, doesn't it?
And that kind of brings us to the big moral question here. We've always been told that piracy is theft. End of story. But could it also be seen as a form of digital protest? A way of pushing back against a corporate system that keeps chopping up our shared culture and selling it back to us, one subscription at a time?
In the end, the corporations sued. They threatened, they built all these digital walls. But you can't arrest an idea. The rebellion never actually ended. It just got better bandwidth.